Hello friends. In my videos I usually talk about relationships and using the experience and knowledge of others to avoid mistakes, and using the experience and knowledge of others to have a better experience at life and more joy and more pleasure. But in this video I'm going to talk about my 2 cents on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. There are all kinds of morons here who think that they're experts, and they blindly support one side because they think that they know something that others don't, and they've been convinced by other morons on the internet that somehow Putin is a hero and that he's against the World Economic Forum and globalists, and that they assume that if you're against Putin's illegal invasion of a sovereign country, that you're for Biden. Well, I'm here to tell you I am 100% against that criminal man occupying the White House today. I think he manipulated the election. I think he's incompetent, and I think his cabinet is a joke that is selected based on inclusivity rather than competence. I'm also against globalists with every molecule of my body. But to think that just because someone is like that and they should support Putin, you're a mad person. And if you're intelligent, if you have any kind of education, more importantly, if you've traveled the world and if you have any kind of worldliness in your body, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Putin is a crazy, mad man who was raised under KGB thoughts that Soviet Union is a great country and communism is great, and the whole world should be forced to be a communist. His ideal situation right now, he cannot deal with reality that communism failed miserably and nobody wants it, especially Russians. You give Russian a chance, they'll escape to Europe and America by selling their kidneys. Now, he cannot deal with this fact, and his now ideal situation is places like Belarus and other countries where there's a puppet leader who does whatever he says. And he will never achieve his dreams of bringing Soviet Union back and putting Eastern Europe under the wing of Russia. He will never achieve that. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, well, he has justification for attacking Ukraine because there are some people in Ukraine who want to be a part of Russia. Agreed. There are people in Ukraine that want to be part of Russia and they want to be independent. Out of the 202 countries on the United Nations, 57% of them have population of one size or another that wants to be independent. You know, I've lost count of how many people inside countries want to be independent. The Kurds in Iraq and Iran, the Quebecois in Canada, and hundreds more. So does that give another nation a justification to go and attack another country? And if you think that Russia is winning, let me tell you something. Russia should have taken over entire country of Ukraine in 2 to 2.5 weeks. If they didn't, that means they're losing miserably. Actually, they're losing so bad that it's been a year now, and they've lost 130,000 soldiers based on British intelligence who are inside the country. And they're now resorted to recruiting prisoners and 45-year-olds who have no training and no willing to fight. They're escaping from every border that they can so they don't have to fight. Some of them are even breaking their own arms so they can be disqualified from going to war with a country that has no threat to them and never wanted to fight them. So if you're blindly supporting some madman who executes, poisons, and imprisons his own political opponents, and does not allow people in Russia to see any kind of foreign media, and anyone who says war instead of a special military operation goes to jail, if you want to support him for some demented reason of your own, go right ahead. But you're supporting a murderous madman who is in hiding because he thinks his own generals are going to kill him. He's a maniac. He's a maniac, power-hungry maniac, mentally disturbed mass murderer. Before you blindly support Russia, Look what he did to Dagestan and Chechnya, who wanted to be independent. I thought you guys were for people who wanted to be independent. Go read the history of what he did to Grozny, Chechnya. He basically leveled that city where there was no standing building because they wanted to be independent. I thought you said you want the people to be independent. So what happened to that? The people of Chechnya don't count? And consider this. There are all kinds of talking heads who label themselves experts who come and give their opinion and everything. But you're an intelligent person. Put your own intelligence to use. I always say Russia compared to Ukraine is like Mike Tyson fighting an 8-year-old boy. The fact that he wasn't able to defeat them and take over the whole country in 3 weeks, and now it's been a year and they're resorting to conscripting 45-year-old regular citizens to fight, shows you absolute desperation. If you still don't believe that, I know people that are living in Ukraine and they are devoid of running water, electricity, and heat because Russia, unable to defeat Ukrainians, has resorted to attacking infrastructure. Now, I don't know, no matter how much you love Ukraine and for your own private Putin, and for your own private reasons decide to defend him, imagine this. If he was successful in defeating them militarily, would he have to resort to attacking water supplies, electricity grids, and heating systems? That's like someone unable to defeat someone in the boxing ring and then later on goes and hides and shoots them with a gun from the back when they're not looking. Just use your own intelligence. Don't tell me what one professor and political expert or war expert or general or whoever said on TV. Use your own judgment. If he was able to defeat them, U.S. overthrew Afghanistan government in 3 weeks. It took them the same amount of time to overthrow the Iraqi government because the military is much more capable. Ukraine is not a strong country. And you're damn right, I believe that the world should help them. Because if you have your 8-year-old kid being bullied by someone much stronger, would you want him to get help or would you want him to get beaten up until he's unconscious? And what I'm going to close with this. I don't care what expert says on TV or media, Russia will never succeed, never, in defeating Ukraine simply because Russians are inherently incompetent. They were in Afghanistan for 10 years and left badly defeated. Russia will never be able to defend Ukraine because Europe, Japan, and United States is helping Ukraine. Europe has much more superior, Europe and Japan have much more superior weapons, and they have much more money. All the best.